Welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to continue with our app that we worked on earlier. Welcome back, everyone. We are going to continue with our app that we worked on earlier, and I hope that everything is just fine. So what we are going to do, let's first of all get access to this. Let's first run let's view so that we can be able to view this app effectively well. So I'm going to share this so that we can be able to get access to it. So this is our app. We worked on some screens earlier yesterday, and we are going to continue from what we did yesterday. So this is our app, and today we are going to work on this screen. I want us to first of all get this reference image. So let's continue. Now we are going to make changes to this particular screen, which is the future vision screen. Now we are going to make changes to this particular screen, which is the future vision screen. And what we are going to change, we are going to change the look of the card that is in this screen. This card that we are going to change has the following texts. The following texts: always know where everything is, stay organized and keep control. I have attached an image, and that image has elements that are organized very well. And what you're going to do, you're going to create images for these elements and try to clone the exact look of this of what you see in the image and include it in the card, and ensure that the texts are just put in the middle. You can ensure that you refine that text to be a bit shorter, but you maintain the meaning. So when it comes to the text that is just below this very card, which is imagine always knowing where everything is.
My canopy is wide, catching every vibration, a natural liberation for a tired nation. I calculate the patience in the rings of the wood, doing what I should, exactly where I stood, doing what I should, exactly where I stood.
Now when I look at this text, it is quite lengthy. What you're going to do, you're also going to ensure that for the words that are long, like everything and knowing, ensure that you can be able to substitute these words with quite shorter words, so that we can currently this text is taking up 3 lines on our screen, you should configure it to take up only 2 lines by lessening on the these words that are quite long, but when you're doing that, you're going to maintain the meaning of that particular word. So that means you are changing the appearance of the card, and you're also going to ensure that you cut down on the characters of that phrase that we've set out. And with setting those, you're going to maintain the positioning of all the elements on our screen. So as you're making these changes, ensure that that is adhered to.
Deep in the dusty books, names carved in the stone. Found my face in the ledger, just a number on the page. Just a number, blood soaked in the dirt, sweet fruit from the struggle. I'm floating on the truth. Reality starts to shift.
So when it comes to the organization of the implementation plan that you're going to use, I want you to create an implementation plan that follows the structure that you see in the master prompt, the exact structure that you see in the master prompt.
Even if they cage the body, roots deep in the mud, branches touching the sky, so high. Know yourself, feel the way. Knowledge is the way out.
When you are creating this master prompt, I want you to ensure that for the instructions that are in those documents that I've shared, the skills document, the front end skills document, and the themes document, I need you to ensure that you set up elements that the implementation plan that you're going to set up adheres to the rules that are laid out in these documents. So that means with the layout of the implementation plan, it should include the various rules that are laid out in these documents to ensure that we have a well-structured approach to this particular task.
But I brought the whole tribe. Education is the fire. Burn the lies away. Simple truth, heavy bass. Keep the movement steady. Never forget the source. Roots deep in the mud.
So let's continue with working on this.
Know yourself, feel the way. Knowledge is the way out. Way out. Armor made of history, shielding from the storm.
Let's continue to work on this. For the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to subscribe to the stream.
Deep roots. Don't forget. Don't forget.
So let's see how this is worked upon.
I follow my own leg.
So we are trying to clone the look of the card
Like water
to ensure that we can be able to change that. So let's see how it unfolds.
the fire start to burn deep inside. The table start to turn for my side.
And for the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe to the stream as we continue to get a glimpse of what this app is going to fully turn out to be. It's a storage app that enables people to store different kinds of things and be able to remember what they have stored. That is simply what we are working on.
Spirit ever strong. I carry my own load.
So it's really taking out some time, given that we have logic for translations in our app. So it has to first of all get that context and be able to work with that particular context, which is quite great. You always want to follow a structured way of doing things. I believe it's a much more better way of approaching each and everything. So let's wait for this implementation plan, and then when we have it, we shall be able to make the execution in a much more better way. I know there are approaches where you just have to go onto the app and make refinements, but I believe a structured kind of approach is much more better when it comes to any app. So when you're laying out something, you always want to have that structure followed, which is quite good. So what we are customizing earlier, this is the card that we have, but when we go to our reference image, let's look for it here. This is rather our reference image. So this is our reference image. So we wanted to ensure that the text that we have in that card are centered, and then we can have these kind of elements that are making this circular form in our card in the bids to change the appearance of the card itself. So let's look at how it's going to turn out, and then we shall be able to review it. So it's taking out some time, but I believe it's a better practice. So what we are working with, they are mostly screenshots that we extracted from Google Stitch, and this was our earlier look of our app, and this is one of the screens I believe that we are working on. So this is how it looks in the real code. This is the image, what I'm pointing at, which is in Google Stitch, but here this is the real code. So we are trying to make refinement in how it looks, because it's just basic, but I believe we can be able to make these refinements effectively well.
Olvida el resto, miran desde afuera, sigue la corriente, disfruta el viaje. Mi piel es sal, tu aliento en mi cuello, dándote más de lo que esperaba. Más alto que la luna, girando en el lugar, no me sueltes más. Aquí somos libres, tan libres. No me sueltes. Siente la corriente al tocarnos tú y yo. Bajo las estrellas nunca es demasiado. Fluyendo suave, subiendo el calor. Siente la corriente al tocarnos tú y yo. El pulso urbano late nuestros pies.
So let's look at it and wait out and see how it pans out.
Asimismo, bajo el cielo sigue moviendo tan suave la corriente.
So it is still making these executions. Let's wait out and see how it turns out. So it's posing a question: do you want to allow me to write in the requested UI changes into feature? Yes. So let's wait for other changes to be made, and then it's taking out some time, but I believe it's going to finish up this task very well. So let's wait and see and look at the changes that have been made.
Just me in the 64 leaning left, swerving around the potholes on Atlantic Avenue. Sun hitting the paint, keeping my cool. I remember when the tank was on empty. Way back then. Now the hydraulics do the talking for me.
So this is what it has done. It is quite good.
Told me patience is a weapon, so I sharpened the blade and waited. Seen them fold under the pressure of the block. I just fixed the chrome and stayed on track. Red rags and blue flags and the hate they spew. Just another day in the land of the heat. Ooh, we just riding. It's a long road, but the seats are leather. Keep it moving. Pressure makes diamonds. I'm just holding the way.
This is good. I love what it has created in terms of these icons, but I believe
Smooth as the wax on a Sunday morning. We don't rush the wind, we just wait for it. Seen the
we can
hoes on the asphalt.
make some refinements
Got a little liquor for the lost ones. They wanted it fast. I wanted it forever.
to just decrease on the
Marathon. Seen the homies turned up on the asphalt. Pouring out a little liquor for the lost ones. They wanted it fast. I wanted it forever. That's the difference between a sprint and a marathon. Stopped at the store for a cold drink. OG nodding his head.
so I think we can just make refinements.
Prize, I don't need a Hess alone. Got the weight of the coast. No more jumping fences when the lights flash. Just a slow creep through the neighborhood I built. Keeping it 100 till the tank hits zero.
Because now that we have this change which has been done, we are just going to continue making just a few refinements on this particular screen. Let's continue. For the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe so that you join in on what we are doing, which I believe is a very interesting element that we are working on. We are working on our onboarding screen for this particular app, and we are just refining some of these screens. The screens were already created, but we are making refinements to them.
Just keep it pushing, slow and steady. Yeah, we ain't in no rush. The top floor looks better when you took the stairs. Stay patient while they was racing. Still cruising.
So everything was created very well. So what I want it is to ensure that this particular screen is set up even much more better. So let's go back. So it's trying to read this file, and look at the changes that were created. So let's still reference this future vision file. Still on this future vision screen, I love the refinements that you've made on the app. So you're further going to make some refinements. So what you're going to do, the text, imagine knowing where it all is. And let's change this text to imagine knowing where all your and that particular text, we are going to align it in the center from the right to the left, full stop. And for the bold text that is in the card, which is we are going to slightly decrease on its font size. And when it comes to the various cards that hold icons that are in this particular large card, they're going to ensure that the spaces in between these cards are relatively the same. That is going to make these the spaces in between the cards that hold the icons need to be relatively the same. We are also going to ensure that for the cards like storage receipt, which are quite huge, we are going to decrease on its width, and we are going to ensure that these are placed just in the same format where like they are placed, but the spacings in between them are going to be relatively the same, to ensure that each and everything is well set up, and to ensure that there is no any of those item cards that interferes or obstructs another. So let's continue with making this refinement. Remember the earlier screen that we had was this is what we had, which was good for starters, but it didn't look good in terms of the icons that we are supposed to be here. So we added these icons, and we are trying to decrease on the size of this text, nowhere all things, but also align these texts in the center. And from there we shall continue to the next screen, which is this: what do you want kept to help you with? So let's continue. Submit this. So let's continue.
But I see the way you were looking at me. We were just kids trying to build a kingdom on a foundation of nothing but laughter and hope. It wasn't perfect, but it was our truth. It wasn't perfect, but it was our truth. And I wouldn't trade a single heavy day for a lifetime of easy grace. I still feel the way you held me, like a soft fire against the winter sky. We had to let it go to find our soul. Now I see beauty in the things we knew. Just a simple magic.
So let's continue and make these changes.
When the world felt like it was closing in, we walked through the seasons hand in hand, learning that growth is a quiet kind of pain. I look the woman I've become to become up. I see your influence in ways stand out. There's no bitterness, this distance, things don't leave. Only the warmth, the story well told. I still feel the way you held me, like a soft fire against the winter skies. We had to let it go to find our soul. Now I see beauty in the things we knew.
So let's continue also to finish up with this, and I think I've identified some issues that we can be able to further change. So let's continue. He's still making some changes, and then we are going to review these changes effectively well. If you have not yet unsubscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe and support the journey. Subscribe and support the journey effectively.
Bajo profundo y palpitante entra con un ritmo de Latin House clásico y un cencerro energético.
So let's so it's making a cleanup of some refinements that we made, but I believe at the end of everything is going to turn out fine. For the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe and subscribe to the channel and support the efforts that we are on. We are refining our screens. We made the first layout, which is quite good. as it was provided to us by cloud, but
El camino fue duro, pero aquí estamos. Visión clara,
it wasn't good enough, so we are making these refinements, and currently we are using codex, which is also a very, very powerful codex, GPT 5.2, which is quite also good when it comes to understanding the context of the visual context of various elements. So let's continue. I think when it comes to the cards, they have been aligned very well with the way we wanted them, but the text is quite long. So this text is quite long. I think we can make some changes to this text. So before we make any changes, let me get suggestions from ChatGPT here. Without
abajo todo es solo un punto pequeño. Dueños del triunfo, dueños del empeño.
let me get suggestions from it without making any refinements, and if there is a text that is quite good for me, then I can pick out that and we'll replace the current one. So now we have this text in our app. Currently the layout, it has been aligned in the center, it is good, but it is still long. It is long by something like 5 characters. So if you were to rewrite this particular statement, can you give me like 3 suggestions of different variations of these and how you can rewrite it without changing the meaning? I'm going to look at it, and then I will choose the one that is appropriate, and then I'll let you know, then we can go with that and make changes.
El ritmo baja, los sintetizadores se desvanecen. Asimismo, sigue subiendo fuerte, tan fuerte.
Check the ledger. Price of peace. Custom armor hidden
Imagine
under the ostrich
knowing
coat.
where your things
Front lines in the lobby of the Plaza Hotel. Mental state like a cracked marble floor. Walking over glass and $6,000 loafers. Watch your step. Grenades hidden in the gift.
So let's recreate more shorter suggestions.
Strikes hitting the penthouse.
For the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe. And as you power this journey over coding out different
A massacre.
products until when we hit
I just bought a new
$500,000.
heavy head resting on a silk pillowcase. War scars looking like expensive designer labels. Still with it. Managing the chaos like a corporate board meeting. The trauma is just a tax on the crown. Victory tastes like cold iron and vintage wine. The cost of the throne. Sipping age scotch to drown the sirens. Body count is high in the mental ledger. Check the math. Cook the bitterness in a copper pot. Serve the
Imagine.
gold to the ghosts in the cellar every nightmare. Bought a new acre of land. Iron in the blood, but platinum on the neck. Heavyweight. A general of a ghost battalion in suit.
So imagine knowing.
Like the battlefield.
I think we should use the imagine.
Screaming louder than the voices. I trade my peace for a higher profit margin. Heavy head resting on a silk pillowcase. War scars looking like expensive designer labels. Still with it. Managing the chaos like a corporate board meeting. The trauma is just a tax on the crown. Victory tastes like cold iron and vintage wine. The cost of the throne. Brand in the panic into a global empire. Stitch the open wounds with pure gold thread. Medals on the chest of a haunted
Imagine
man.
that you
Salute
know
the survivor. The war is quiet, but the rent
that
is
your
high.
is.
Built a fortress out of broken glass. No surrender in the middle of
No.
the luxury. Never fold.
That is quite long. So I think let's go with this.
Now they work
Or is
the door at the party. The war never ends. It just gets
or
more
is
expensive.
no,
Sign the check. You're good.
or is no where your things are. Or better yet, find or is know where your things are. So let's go with this. I think this statement that I've written above here is a better statement. So can you replace the current statement that we have with this one? And you need to ensure that when it comes to other translations for other languages that we have in our app, that this statement is quite that when you make changes, other translations are considered, so that when we are viewing this app in other languages, the text is translated effectively well. And that goes for all the texts that you've included on this particular screen during the refinements that you've made. So let's continue and make more changes. I think that is going to be the last change that we make, and then we are going to continue to the next screen. For the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe and join the channel. We are streaming most of the products that we are working on. Most importantly, I want you to join, because today I'm going as I go through this, I'm going to go through a very, very interesting framework. This framework, I believe, is going to be one of the things that is going to revamp how we look at the ideation of apps. So as we go through this, I'm also going to go through that very, very well. So I think I should load it. I'm going to load it here. So let's go here and look at it. So let's go to the HTML view online.
Sun hitting the paint, keeping my cool. I remember when the tank was on empty. Now the hydraulics do the talking for me.
So let's as the changes are being made, let's go back to our screen. So as anti-gravity is making changes, let's import this file. So I think it is we've loaded it. Let's preview the full page. So we shall look at this. I've already told you that one of the most important things that you're going to have when you are creating apps, it is to have I can say a detailed way of how you're going to approach it, but that starts with the ideation. So I've prepared this process. I believe when we go through this process, it's going to be one of the things that you're going to love, because it's well laid out. So I'm going to go through that as we work on this app, because I believe it is very, very important that you understand how to get the perfect ideas. One of the elements that we can start with when it comes to generating ideas, I've set up this 9-step framework, and I, with the help of Cloud Code, I set it up into an HTML file. I wanted it to be in terms of a website so that I can explain everything very well. So how do you approach any app idea? You don't just go on to build any app idea. What you go with is the problem solving centric approach. So what is this approach? This approach allows you to identify the exact friction points that people face. So we as human beings, we face different kinds of problems in life. So when you're approaching to build an app, you want to build an app that is solving a particular problem. That is a better approach. So if you're solving from the point of if you're creating an app from a point of solving a problem for a client, then that becomes quite a very, very good. So let's continue with making these changes, then I will so as it's working, one of the other problems that I thought are very important, the elements, it is habit forming. So when you look at these problems that you're going to solve, you should focus on the activities that are being done on a daily basis. So if you are solving or you are creating an app for something that is not a habit, something that people don't do on a daily basis, then it shouldn't be something that you should focus on. So that takes us to what we call the toothbrush model. So what is the toothbrush model? So the toothbrush model represents activities that are done more than 2 times a day. So remember, when it comes to the toothbrush or brushing your teeth, you get to brush your teeth at least more than 1 time a day. So when you look at activities that are done more than 2 times a day, they include eating, walking, traveling, working, drinking water, using the bathroom, phone checks, messaging, social media, listening to music, breathing, checking time, checking your wallet, laughing, taking tea, mental reminders, notifications, writing notes, payment. Some people make several payments across the day, greeting people, washing their hands, reading news, charging devices, talking to people. So when you look at such activities, these are activities from which you are going to get the pain points from. Remember, in the first step I told you, we get the pain points. So now when we continue, so as we are working on that, let's continue to make that refinement very well. So as you get to view these activities and list them up, you get to choose the best concept from the toothbrush model. And the way you are going to do that, let's first of all go here. So after you've listed all the problems and you map out how people face them, you zero down to one of the problems, then you're going to refine what you really want in terms of the app sole purpose. So if let's say the problem is wasting time, if the problem is let's say wasting time, commuting, you can continue. So you're going to map the frequency. You're going to also get to investigate the pain level, where you're also going to go deeper in investigating whether the app is the right kind of a solution that you're building. So I've talked about the habit forming, and then the toothbrush model. So when you go to the idea selection, so let's say you've selected the idea, and you say, the challenge is this is the activity. The activity is walking. Or let's say eating. And the frustration is that you can't track your nutrition. Then from there you can be able to unlock the idea and say the app idea is eating is the activity that is done more than 2 times a day, but people are frustrated because they can't track their nutrition. So you can be able to resolve to building that. But before you build that, you need to go back to the app store and look at what other people are doing. Is there a market for this particular app? Can you look at that with evidence from the competitors and the apps? How many downloads are they getting? What mode are they using? What are the frustrations that the users have? When you look at these reviews that are having maybe 1-star reviews, what are they? What are they saying about this particular apps and how they solve the problems? So if you look at maybe the problems, let's say the problems from these competitors are saying that there is no offline mode for the app. Maybe in one of the reviews says that the app is too complex. That is your opportunity to build something simpler that still solves the problem. Maybe the other competitor is saying the app crashes constantly, so that's your opportunity. So you look at these opportunities from mostly what the users are saying, and then the other step that we have is that you are going to use the approach of using one feature. You only want to zero down to one feature. You don't have to have a whole complex app that is having 5 features, 3 features. You start with one feature that solves a simple feature that is fast and gets to solve that problem immediately. So the practical value of that comes with creating an app that is quite simple but gets to solve the problem. But also when you look at the way you're going to create this app, you should build it to ensure that it is easy to scale. So you should solve a universal problem where you are able to scale this problem to hundreds of millions of billions of people. So you should look, if I'm building this app, maybe I'm having 1,000 users currently. How can I is this a model that I've built, is it scalable to 1 billion people? Can 1 billion people use my app effectively? Well, so that is one of the other models that you can zero down to. So the adaptability, the ease to the adaptability. You should also look at the culture globally, that the different kinds of cultural variations, and that comes in terms of you integrating things like translations. Can you be able to build in various global languages at first when you're building maybe the app, to ensure that it can be used by other people from different regions as you test the global scaling out with the few users that you have. And the other thing is the virality. So when it comes to the virality, you're going to look at 6 elements. These elements, so let's continue here. I wanted to explain this as we make the refinements. I wanted to explain this effectively well as we make this refinement. So social currency is one of the principles that you're going to look at when you're looking at the virality of the app. So you need to ensure that you add elements that make the users look smart or interesting when they share your particular app, or when they share some information from your app. So you also need to have triggers. You have to link this feature that you've created to one daily queue, something that is going to remind people to open that particular app because they need to use that functionality, because it is valuable on a daily basis. So something that is going to trigger them. The other thing is that how are people going to feel when they're using your app? How does it make them feel? it is also something that you need to build for when you're integrating whatever you are integrating. And the other thing that we look at is that you need to ensure that there is a visibility that is built within this very app, so that it can attract the new users, but it can also act as something that people can showcase when they are maybe talking about the app. The practical value bit of it, I talked about it, that you need to create at least a single feature that is simple, but it can solve that problem immediately fast when people get to open your app. The other thing is that you can create a narrative or story related kinds of elements that spark word of mouth about your app. So there are certain apps that we've downloaded where we don't have to say much, rather where we don't have to maybe get to hear from it from an advert, but a friend tells you, I'm using this app, it does this and this, which is quite what you would want for your app. And then it goes to the ninth step, which is the distribution. So distribution is 80%. You need to figure out how are you going to distribute this app, how are you going to get it in the face of the users. So if you are able to figure that out, that is the last element. How are you going to identify the users, and when you find them, maybe what channels are you going to find them, and on what social media platforms, where are you going to find them online to be able to understand about your app and test it out. How are you going to structure your app to be placed in the face of the users? Is it through content, through paid ads, through influencer partnerships or community collaborations? Whatever you've decided, you need to test it out and get to see how it works. So success of an app, it is not just about downloads. It is mostly about the users being able to use your app, but also retaining them from the first session they get to use the app and to continue to use the app. So that is the framework that I wanted to talk about. If you love that, I'm going to presume that at least you've picked out something. And for the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe. We are going to continue to share these kinds of insights. I know the building part of it is important, but we need to understand, why are we building? Then what are the steps that do we take when we are building? So this is the framework that I set up. It's just simply laid out in this simple HTML that I created using Cloud Code. But I believe at least you've got a sample of the information that I wanted to put across. So let's go back here and we'll finish up with the refinement that we were making.
Customer come, I know you're waiting, she talk. I just the look your walk. How much for your heart? I get the cash, I get the grace, no be smarting, I carry for pocket. Wait. I know be debt, I be walker. I pay the price for your love. I pay the price. Baby, tell me your last price. I see the way you move for this song.
So let's look at what it is doing. So I was making changes to mostly the texts and trying to shorten them.
But your voice be like song. Last price. Yeah.
So let's copy this. It's taking a long time, so we are going to revert this particular. The process is it's taking a long time. Let's reshare.
Fire start to burn deep inside. The tables start to turn for my side. I'ma see my levels now. Joy come like morning sun. Yeah. We the chop life every day. My race I don't win now. Yeah. Them say I no go make 'em, but my spirit ever strong. I carry my own load.
This and
Now I know where I belong.
now when it comes to the images that are in our card, they have been distorted. We need to revert that to the earlier setup that we had. Look at the image that I've shared and ensure that the layout of the elements that are in the card are laid out very well. And also for the text, currently the text is not reflected effectively very well. This is what we get to see when it comes to the text. Let's write this.
We just fly. Everything's soft now. Everything's sad. Everything's sad.
So we need to ensure that when it comes to the text, we get to see the real text that we are supposed to see in the middle of those elements in the card.
Check the frequency. One, two. Planet firm where the pavement meets the spirit. Ancestral rhythm is the only way I hear it. My posture is a geometry of ancient cedar. Internal climate shifting like a heavy-handed leader. The rain is just a lecture for the thirsty. I manifest the mercy when the sky gets murky. Gravity is a strategy.
So let's continue.
Keeping the vision focused and the path narrow. I don't bend for the trend or the gale. My skin is like a scale or a suit of mail. The mathematics of the sap rising in the trunk, drowning out the junk in the rhythmic funk. My foundation is a sovereign state of mind, leaving every bitter winter far behind. It's the climb through the grime to the light. Keep reaching. Every branch is a prayer for the height.
Let's continue and
Until the fruit is ripe. Manifest the essence in the middle of the fight. The calendar is just a circle of survival. Each fallen leaf marks a brand new arrival. I shed the ego like the bark on the birch, finding the truth without a steeple or a church. The wind is a critic, but the roots are a fact. Keeping my integrity, my soul intact. My canopy is wide, catching every vibration. A natural liberation for a tired nation. I calculate the patience in the rings of the wood, doing what I should. Exactly.
so we have our implementation plan. Let's submit it and then
Canopy, the sky is the only thing that can handle me. A centipede past the logic of the common ground. Silent as a seed, making a holy sound. It's the climb through the grime to the light. Keep reaching. Every branch is a prayer for the height. Steady now. Weathering the season till the fruit is ripe. Manifest the essence in the middle of the fight. Just keep growing. Don't mind the storm. It's just water. It's just wind. The essence is eternal. Peace.
No.
So let's continue. Someone is asking why I'm using GPT 5.4. I'm using GPT 5.4 because when it comes to 3.5, currently we've got a challenge. I'm on a paid plan of Google Anti-Gravity, but the rate limits, I think Google got a challenge. They've cut the rate limits by 90%. They have cut the rate limits by 90%. So that means it's locking most of the people who are on the paid plan out, and it has been happening for the last 24 hours. I've been trying with other tools, and I even made another payment using a different email, but I couldn't use it on my PC here. So that is the reason as to why I've resorted to the use of GPT 0.4 and majorly Codex, because it could not really effectively put out what I wanted. So I've resorted to this because it's much more better. It's much more better. So that's why I've resorted to this. So let's wait for this to complete, then we go to the next screen.
Se paga con silencio. Subiendo la escalera hecha de cicatrices, del suelo al cielo sin mirar atrás, haciendo que el dolor trabaje para mí. Hoy domino lo que ayer me golpeaba. Mi disciplina es un arma cargada, entrenando el que no llega armada.
Continue.
Esto es matemática pura y sudor frío. Hoy domino lo que ayer me podolpeaba. Motor rugiendo en mi pecho vacío. Me dijeron que no llegaría lejos, ahora ven mi sombra cubriendo su bloque, ahora ven mi sombra cubriendo su bloque. No uso joyas para brillar en la sombra. Mi aire es fino, pero
so let's wait for this refinement to be done, even though it's taking a long time. But I love the process of how it gets to attempt the task, and also the context window of codex is also quite large, so you can give it a task and then it can effectively take out some time to execute it, but it gets to execute it very, very fast.
hice de la caída un salto eterno y del fracaso mi mayor trofeo. Resiliencia profeo. Recelo conencia un feo. Resiliencia pura, desde el barro hasta el trono, nunca paramos.
So let's continue to the next screen. I think this screen is okay. What we are changing here is just the alignment of the text. So let me highlight that text. So we are going to make changes to this particular screen. Let me first of all reference it here. So we're going to make changes to this particular screen, and for this text, for the text that I've referenced above, you are going to align it in the middle of the screen from the right to the left. That is the only change that we are going to make on this screen. So please work on it first, then we can be able to proceed to other changes.
No pedí permiso para entrar al juego. Cada tropiezo fue una lección de fuerza. Caminando sobre el vidrio roto del barrio. Sin monedas pero con el hambre intacta. Miraba hacia arriba buscando el sol.
So let's continue. For the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe as you follow along in this process.
Aquí la debilidad se paga con silencio, con silencio. Subiendo la escalera hecha de cicatrices, del suelo al cielo sin mirar atrás, sin mirar atrás. Haciendo que el dolor trabaje para mí. Hoy domino lo que ayer me golpeaba. Lo domino todo. Mi disciplina es un arma cargada, entrenando el verso en la esquina oscura. No dependo de la suerte ni el azar. Esto es matemática pura y sudor frío. Cada puerta cerrada fue un impulso nuevo, un motor rugiendo en mi pecho vacío. Me dijeron que no llegaría lejos, ahora ven mi sombra cubriendo su bloque. No uso joyas para brillar en la sombra. Mi valor se mide en golpes aguantados. Soy el arquitecto de mi propio destino, transformando el veneno.
So we are only aligning the text and then we are going to continue.
Hecha de cicatrices, del suelo al cielo, sin mirar atrás, sin mirar atrás, haciendo que el dolor trabaje para mí. Hoy domino lo que ayer me golpeaba, lo domino todo. Mírame ahora, firme en la cumbre. El aire es fino pero respiro victoria. No olvide el sabor de la escasez. Eso es lo que mantiene mi fuego vivo. Respeto ganado con sangre y rimas, sin vender el alma al mejor postor. Soy el ejemplo de la voluntad inmensa, el que convirtió el muro en puente, pisando fuerte sobre la envidia ajena. Mi nombre retumba en los callejones viejos. Hice la caída un salto eterno y del fracaso mi mayor trofeo. El ritmo se filtra y queda solo el bajo. Resiliencia pura, desde el barro hasta el trono. Cicatrices de oro. Final abrupto con golpe de caja. The ledger, the price of peace. Custom armor hidden under the ostrich skin coat. Front lines in the lobby of the Plaza Hotel. Mental state like a cracked marble floor. Walking over glass and $6,000 loafers. Watch your step. Grenades hidden in the gifted bags from Paris. Artillery strikes hitting the penthouse balcony. Survival is the only brand I truly wear. Stains on the silk that never come out. Clean it up. A massacre happened in the master suite. I just bought a new house to forget. Heavy head resting on a silk pillowcase. War scars looking like expensive designer labels. Still winning. Managing the chaos like a corporate board meeting. The trauma is just a tax on the crown. Victory tastes like cold iron and vintage wine. The cost of the throne. Sipping aged scotch to drown the sirens. Body count is high in the mental ledger. Check the math. Check the math. Cook the bitterness in a copper pot. Served it cold to the ghosts in the cellar. Every nightmare bought a new acre of land. Iron in the blood, but platinum on the neck. Heavyweight. A general of a ghost battalion suits. The interior is red like the battlefield. 12-cylinder engine screaming louder than the voices. I trade my peace for a higher profit margin. Heavy head resting on a silk pillowcase. War scars looking like expensive designer labels. Still winning. Managing the chaos like a corporate board meeting. The trauma is just a tax on the crown. Victory tastes like cold iron and vintage wine. The cost of the throne. Rebranding the panic into a global empire. Stitch the open wounds with pure gold thread. Medals on the chest of a haunted man. Salute the survivor. The war is quiet. Built the fortress out of broken glass. No surrender in the middle of the luxury. Never fold. I own the demons that used to own me. Now they work the door at the party. The war never ends. It just gets more expensive. Sign the check. We good. Yeah. Check the frequency. 1 2 1 2. Gray slabs trap the heat. Boots crunch on broken glass bits. Keep the mind sharp, cold blade style. Scavengers hunt where the metal pipes rouse. Industry vultures circling the block. I main tree vultures circling the block. I maintain a stance, feet planted deep. Brick walls talk, but I don't listen. Mathematics of the gutter. Calculate the risk. Sharp focus in the blurry zone. Hold the vision tight. Don't let it slip. Timberland prints in the slushy suit. Mental fortress. Doors bolted shut. Watching the hawks from the fire escape. Watching the hawks from the fire escape. Every breath is a heavy weight. Stay awake, no rest for the woke soul. Translate the pain into a higher code. Pave thicket, stay alert.
Now when it comes to this screen, I want us to look at
Keep the focus, never deviate.
the text that I'm going to put below. We are going to align it in the center.
Watch the heavens rotate. Reject the fake, the shiny, the new. Analyze the pattern of the street fight. Black ink bleeding on the page tonight. Black ink bleeding on the page tonight. No soft edges, only jagged lines. Building a temple in the ruins of time.
Now we have this text on our screen. I want you to align it in the center from the right to the left.
Crushing the weak flows with a heavy palm. Eye of the storm, I remain a calm. Esoteric grit on the city's face. Look, ancestors grit, watching through the grind. Watch. Ancestors watching through grind. I manifested truth.
Now as you're making changes to this particular
Lies with a surgical strike.
text, I want you to align this, rewrite this request using the master prompt structure that I've laid out.
Stay focused. Yeah. Maintain the science.
So let me reference these also. So as you're writing the implementation plan, it should include the instructions that we have in these skills documents that I've shared here. So give me the implementation plan, I will approve it, and then we make the change. So let's continue. I've switched back to the coding agent that for anti-gravity, the original one. We've been using Codex, but Codex is not providing the context that we want. So I've switched to this. Let's see how it works out. Let's look at that. For you who are not yet subscribed to the channel, I'm going to call upon you to subscribe so that you follow the journey along. We are working on an app. It's an app that helps people to keep their things very well. So what we are working on is that we are ensuring that each and every onboarding screen is being refined. We've already set up these screens. We set these screens up in a single shot using a cloud code, which is embedded in, of course, in Google Anti-Gravity. This one.
Take it slow, just a little bit at West Coast bounce. Just me in the 64 leaning left, swerving around the potholes on Atlantic Atlantic Avenue. Swerving around the potholes on Atlantic Avenue. Sun hitting the paint, keeping my cool. I remember when the tank was on empty. Now the hydraulics do the talking for me. Used to run when the sirens got loud. Now I just tilt the brim, keep driving. My mama told me patience is a weapon. So
let me go back to this screenshot.
Seen her fold under the pressure of the block. I just fixed the chrome and stayed on track. Red rags and blue flags in the rear view. But I'm colorblind to the hate they spew. Just another day in the land of the heat. We just riding. It's a long road, but the seats are leather.
So I think it has been refined very well. So I was just working on something. Some people were asking, how did I get to earn the 900 shillings? When you go back in my earlier streams, I've been working on a tour platform which is called Entuga tour platform. It's an automation platform. So for that client, we've partnered more than a 6-step process. So for each process that I'm working on, I'm receiving partial payments for it, and that is the money that I've earned so far. So like I told you, we're going to create various web apps, but we are also going to create mobile apps. For the mobile apps we are creating, we are going to launch them ourselves. But then for the web apps, we are mostly getting these jobs from other people who want different platforms to be built, and we are building them and we are charging them fees. So let's continue to the next screen. This screen, the way it is set up, it is not the way it has been set up. So let's continue to check here. There is something I want to check.
Yeah, keep that energy right there. Just you and the sky.
So when it comes to this screen,
Let's go.
which is where do you store most of the items? Yeah, it is the spaces are quite huge. It's quite different, because when you look at our screen here, let's first of all decrease on this. When you look at our screen here, it is very, very different from what we have as the UI screen. I'm going to refine this screen, but before we refine it, let's go to I want you to go back. Okay. So let's I think reference it from our Stitch screens. Let's look at its name. So what do you want to keep? Where do you store most of these items? Okay. So let's go here now, onboarding process.
In the dusty books, names carved in the stone. Found my face in the
Now I'm referencing this folder, which is the reference folder for our screen, which is step number 6 in our onboarding process. So when I looked at the current appearance of the screen that we have, it does not really match what we have in terms of what is in the reference screen. The reference screen had options which had rectangular cards, but currently what I'm seeing, it is mostly square kind of cards that are on the screen. So I want you to relook into the reference screen and see what the layout is supposed to be, so that you can be able to refine the screen. I want you to refine that. I want you to refine the screen that is a step 6 of 24 to ensure that it has the exact appearance based on the reference screen that was provided.
Read a book, bought a vest, spirit tough as iron, teaching the block to breathe, resilience in the DA need.
When you're doing that, I want you to restructure this particular request into the exact kind of prompt structure that we have in the master prompt file that I've referenced.
Burn the lies away, simple truth, heavy bass, keep the movement steady, never forget the source. Roots deep in the mud, branches touching the sky. Know yourself, feel the way, knowledge is the way out.
So when it comes to these documents that I've referenced, when you're creating the implementation plan, ensure that all the logic and the rules that are in these documents are adhered to when you're writing out the comprehensive implementation plan. Full stop. Provide the implementation plan. I'm going to look into it, then I'll approve, and then we'll proceed with the changes.
Sí, mantén esa energía justo ahí. Solo tú y el cielo. Y el cielo. Vamos. Siente la corriente al tocarnos tú y yo. Bajo las estrellas nunca es demasiado urbano en nuestro.
So let's continue. So that is our screen, but when you look at what we have here in terms of our reference screen, this is how it is supposed to look, how these items are supposed to look, and this is what we have in the reference, which is not it's not coming out the way I want it. So I'm going to refine that. When I look at Google Stitch, I think they have revamped the whole UI of Google Stitch, but I believe it's even having a live mode. They have included a live mode, which is quite amazing. So let me try to maybe make some changes here and test this screen.
Hey, looking at where do you store most items? What are we thinking creatively?
So there is a screen that I want you to make changes to. It is the screen with the title, where do you store most of the items? Can you please make changes to it and ensure that it is visually appealing?
Let me take a closer look. Let me see. The current black and white is clean, but it feels a bit stark and lacks that emotional spark. What if we shifted to a deep, calming charcoal with elegant and sophisticated typography to really build that consistent vibe?
Yes,
You know, the
you can try out that.
on it. Let's give that a shot and see how it feels. Working on it.
Bajo las estrellas nunca se ha dado el pulso urbano de nuestros pies fluyendo suave, subiendo el calor. Así mismo, bajo el cielo, suave, tan suave, sí, la corriente.
So I see you've given it that chocolate kind of look, which is quite amazing.
Just applied the changes. That charcoal and typography totally shifts the vibe, doesn't it? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's good. It's kind of, it changes the look because it was kind of generic before, but the look itself is quite different. The look is quite different.
That sophisticated feel is fantastic. What else can we elevate?
I think for now it's okay. For now it's okay. I feel like it's okay. If there is anything else, of course, definitely I'm going to let you know.
Perfect. Just let me know when you want to dive into the next.
So let's go back. I just wanted to test out the new feature of Google Stitch. They brought a live model, which makes the whole issue of making changes quite amazing. So now we've made our change. Remember what we had in our screens before we had the light mode. That had that kind of layout, which is what we are getting almost with this, and at least this is much more better than what we had. The other cards were laid out in a way that was not really understandable, but now when you look at this, it's quite amazing. So I think we can settle with that. So let's go. I think we are going to go to the next screen. So let's go to the next screen and look at what we have there. So this is let's first of all go back. Well, I think we can add something here on this particular one. So this particular screen, which is the store items screen, now when it comes to the cards that we have on this particular screen, what I see is that the setup has been done perfectly well the way I want it. Now coming to these cards, before the texts on the left hand side, in the extreme left hand side of these cards, can we add quite appealing icons that match these particular options in terms of the text? So if when it comes to the home, we are going to find an appealing home icon. When it comes to office, we are going to find an appealing office icon, find an icon for car storage and multiple places. So can we add those icons and ensure that they are color sensitive before the selection and after the selection for both the light and the dark mode? So we need to add them, and I'm going to look at what you've added. So for the people who are So if you've not yet subscribed to this stream, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe and join our community with our journey to hit $500,000 from only VoIP calling apps. We are working on this app which helps people store their items effectively well. We are still on the onboarding process, and let's make refinements to this particular screen. Now when it comes to this screen, what we are going to do, we are going to add icons. We're going to add icons and ensure that the above instructions that were given to us are adhered to. For the master prompt, you are going to look at the reference that I've provided to you in this document and ensure that the implementation plan of this particular feature is laid out following the prompt structure that we have in the master prompt. So let's reference this. So when it comes to these documents, the skills documents that I've referenced, when you are writing the implementation plan, ensure that all the rules that are in this particular documents are adhered to when you're creating the implementation plan. Provide it to me, I will approve it, and then we go on to make the changes. So let's continue. What you are adding in, we are adding in some icons. We are adding in some icons to ensure that each and everything is set out very well. We are adding in some icons to ensure that all is set up very well. For people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe, join our community, support this journey. But also, when you join the community, I know you're going to keep me very, very much accountable to this process of hitting $500,000 through VoIP coded apps. So if you want to see how this journey gets to unfold gradually, please ensure that you can subscribe. And I know it's going to be a beautiful journey, but most importantly, we are going to learn lots of things along the journey, based on the tools that we are using, based on how we prompt, based on how we go about the certain difficulties that we find along the way. Because I believe that building products is all about problem solving. So along the way, you are going to be encountering different kinds of challenges, and it's all about how you get to solve them. So if you want to be a part of that journey, please do not hesitate to subscribe. And thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you so much. So we've already grown the community to over 2,000 people who are following this journey. So if you want to be a part of those people, please do not hesitate. So we already have the icons, which is quite beautiful, quite amazing and beautiful. But I'm just waiting for it to complete with the walkthrough, then we are going to continue. So let's continue. But before we continue, let's go back to our So let's first of all continue to the next screen. I just wanted to so this is how the screen looks. It's quite different from the other in terms of the cards. The other cards have icons, but these ones don't have. So what we are going to do, we are just going to align this text. I'm going to align this text. So let's go here. And reference the name of this screen, how often. It is step 7. Now when it comes to this particular screen, we are only going to align the header text, which is how often do you misplace items? Let's set up this particular text to align it in the center from the right to the left. That is the only change that we are going to make on this screen. So now what we are doing here is that we are going to restructure this particular prompt to follow the prompt structure that we have in our master prompt. So let's continue to reference others. Now for these particular documents, I want you to arrange them, look into them and ensure that the implementation plan that you're going to create follows the rules that are set out in these 3 documents. So as you are creating the implementation plan for this particular request, ensure that all the rules that are in those documents are adhered to. Provide me the implementation plan, I approve, and then we will continue with the refinement. So this is why I try to make details when it comes to the explanations of what I'm working on, is because if you don't and you just put in a generic prompt, it's not really going to understand. But rather, we also have a master prompt that we've already set up, and that master prompt allows us to have consistency and uniformity in terms of how our agent approaches the changes that it makes. But on top of that, we also have skills documents that we've set up in the skills document itself, in the front end skills, which is mostly for the UI, and the themes. The themes includes instructions about things like colors, the light and dark mode. It includes various items like the fonts that are supposed to be adhered to. So the reason as why we reference them each and every time, because we want it to follow a systematic kind of prompt, like a systematic kind of structure when it is these agents are attempting various refinements that we are making, so that we don't have to re-prompt for each and every single constant that we have in our app. So there are constant things that we have in our apps that we want the agent to adhere to them whenever it's making changes. And these also include the translations that we have, because our app is translatable to over 7 languages. So it becomes quite easy for us to ensure that for the changes that are made, all these things are adhered to. So the change has been made. Let's continue. So we're going to step 8 for the people who have not yet subscribed. If you've not, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe, join us, support this journey, because your subscription is much important. It keeps me going, but most importantly, it keeps me knowing that there are more people who really want me to continue to showcase what I do, and as I try to explain and how I do it. So if you want to be a part of this community, please subscribe, and thank you for the subscription. Let's continue. So this is what we have. So let's go to Pinterest and try to get references.
Doors bolted shut, watching the hawks from the fire escape. watching the hawks from the fire escape. Every breath is a heavy weight. Stay awake, no rest for the woke soul. Translate the pain into a higher code.
So this is the icon that we have, but it's kind of generic. So what I want to do is to ensure that at least we can
Keep the focus, never deviate. Still will watch the heavens rotate. The heavens rotate. Hardcore rhythms for the enlightened few. Reject the fake.
we can make changes to it.
Analyze the pattern of the street fight. Analyze the pattern of the street fight. Black ink bleeding on the page tonight. No soft edges, only jagged lines. Building a temple in the ruins of time. They sell out for $1 in a name. I remain solid, immune to the game. Crushing the weak flows with a heavy palm.
But as we do that, we can still go here.
Esoteric thoughts in a crude space. Look at the grit on the city's face. Ancestors watching through the grind. Watch. Our manifestors watching through grind. I manifest the truth one bar at a time. Dismantle the lies with a surgical strike.
So I want us to make
Hey!
Hey!
The mind's the weapon.
Hey, what change are you taking of?
Well, I want us to make changes to this screen, your first account setup.
Sounds good. What direction are we heading in?
Well, the direction that we're getting in, it is mostly refining it. It is quite generic, but I want you to look at it. What I want is that I want us to use a kind of a vibrant icon. But also, if you are able to change the look of the screen in terms of the blend of the blurry kind of feel with the exact words that we have there, and ensuring that we can transform it to a much more better screen, that would be good. So I want you to use your creativity based on what I've explained, and give me something that is quite much more different to what we have. Of course, the text and the buttons can stay in the same space, but when it comes to the elements, you can transform it.
I'm checking it out. Let me see. This is a great direction. The blend of a vibrant icon, blurry aesthetic, and modern typography will really transform the screen from generic to premium. What do you think of playing with a deep charcoal background for that perfect contrast?
Yes, you can do that, but when it comes to the blend, I want you to blend the background with maybe an image that aligns with how we can be able to set up accounts. If you are maybe using an image of a human being, it can also be able to blend very well into the background of the screen itself to bring it out in a much more better way. So I just want you to use your creativity and make that first iteration, then I will look at it.
On it.
Rugiendo en mi pecho vacío, me dijeron que no llegaría lejos. Ahora ven mi sombra cubriendo su bloque. Ahora ven mi sombra cubriendo su bloque. No uso joyas para brillar en la sombra. Mi aire es fino pero respiro victoria. No olvide el sabor de la escasez. Eso es lo que mantiene mi fuego vivo. Respeto ganado con sangre y rimas. Sin vender el alma, el mejor postor. Soy el ejemplo de la voluntad inmensa, el que convierte sobrero el muro en puente, pisando fuerte sobre la envidia ajena. Mi nombre retumba en los callejones viejos. Hice de la caída un salto eterno y del fracaso mi mayor trofeo. Resiliencia profeo. Recelo con encia un feo. Pura, desde el barro hasta el trono, nunca paramos.
Done! I've radically transformed your first account setup with a blurred charcoal background and vibrant icons. Take a look. What do you think?
So I'm going to take a look.
What's next on our design journey?
So I'm going to first take a look and then I'm going to get back to you.
Justo ahí. Solo tú y el cielo. Vamos.
No rush at all. Let me know what you decide.
Siente la corriente al tocarnos tú y yo. Bajo las estrellas nunca es demasiado en nuestros pies fluyendo suave, subiendo el calor. Siente la corriente al tocarnos tú y yo. Bajo las estrellas nunca es demasiado. El pulso urbano yendo suave, subiendo el calor. El aire está frío pero quemamos por dentro. Seda fina bebiendo de tu copa. Me gusta cómo me miras al bailar, fijando tu vista entrando en el ritmo. No hace falta hablar, que el bajo se exprese, buscando la vibra que el mundo desea. Tus manos bajan, me acerco a tu piel. Esta es la parte que más me gusta. Lo que más, sí, me gusta más. Siente la corriente al tocarnos tú y yo. Bajo las estrellas nunca es demasiado en nuestros pies fluyendo suave, subiendo el calor. Siente la corriente al tocarnos tú y yo. Bajo las estrellas nunca es demasiado. El pulso urbano yendo suave, subiendo el calor. Abajo todo es solo un rastro blanco. Dueños del techo, dueños de la noche. Te ves también bajo la luz plateada. Todo va rápido, pero lo hacemos bien. Olvida el resto, miran desde afuera. Mi piel es sal, tu aliento en mi cuello, dándote más de lo que esperabas. Más alto que la luna, girando en el lugar. No me sueltes más.
So I'm looking at it, but it has not really come out very well. So what if I give you a reference? Can I give you a reference screen of something that you can start with to look at maybe or how I would want it to appear? Then from that point you can really transform it, and then we can also transform it in our app because it's quite generic. I don't feel like we should leave it that way in our app.
That would be super helpful. Which screen are you referring to?
The screen that I'm referring to is the screen which is the first your first account setup. So let me give you the reference.
I understand you want a reference screen, but can you tell me the name of the specific screen you'd like to use as a reference?
Yeah, well, I'm going to upload the reference screen.
Sounds perfect.
Custom armor hidden under the ostrich skin coat. Front lines in the lobby of the Plaza Hotel. Mental state like a cracked marble floor. Walking over glass in $6,000 loafers. Grenades hidden in the gifted bags from Paris. Artillery strikes hitting the penthouse balcony. Survival is the only brand I truly wear. Stains on the silk that never come out. Clean it up. A massacre happened in the master suite. I just bought a new house to forget. Heavy head resting on a silk.
Now I've uploaded the screenshot. I want you to look at it, and then you can transform the look of this particular screen, which is your first account setup. Transform it. You're going to maintain the text definitely that we have on the app, but try to transform the look to ensure that it adopts that kind of look, which is much more better than our plain look.
Cook the bitterness in a copper pot, served it cold to the
On it.
ghosts in the cellar every night, man. Bought a new acre of land, iron in the blood, but platinum on the neck. Heavyweight. A general of a ghost battalion in suits. The interior is red like the battlefield. 12-cylinder engine screaming louder than the voices. I trade my peace for a higher profit margin. Heavy head resting on a silk pillowcase. War scars looking like expensive designer labels. Still winning. Managing the chaos like a corporate board meeting. The trauma is just a tax on the crown. Victory tastes like cold iron and vintage wine. The cost of the throne. Brand in the panic into a global empire. Stitch the open wounds with pure gold thread. Medals on the chest of a haunted man. Salute the survivor. The war is quiet, but the rent is high. Built a fortress out of broken glass. No surrender in the middle of the luxury. Never fold. I own the demons that used to own me. Now they work the door at the party. The war never ends. It just gets more expensive. Sign the check. Be good.
It's all love. I found that old photograph in a shoebox. The edge is afraid and the color is fading, but I see beef. But I see the way you were looking at me. We were just kids trying to build a kingdom on a foundation of nothing but laughter and hope. It wasn't perfect, but it was our truth. It wasn't perfect, but it was our truth. And I wouldn't trade a single heavy day for a lifetime of easy grace. I still feel the way you held me, like a soft fire against the winter skies. We had to let it go to find our soul. Now I see beauty in the things we knew. Just a simple magic of loving you. You taught me how to take a breath when the world felt like it was closing in. We walked through the seasons hand in hand, learning that growth is a quiet kind of pain. I look the woman I've become to become, but I see your influence since waist and eye. There's no bitterness, this distance, this only the warmth, a story well told. I still feel the way you held me, like a soft fire against the winter sky. We had to let it go to find our soul. Now I see beauty in the things we knew. Just a simple magic of loving you. These times are only that river flows one, but I can still pull the feel of tiger. We lessons I learn, the air I breathe. Thinking for the part when you played my life. I still feel the way you held me, like a soft fire against the winter skies. We had to let it go to find our soul. Now I see beauty in the things we knew.
Let me hope you're working on our design.
Absolutely. Let's make your first account setup truly electric.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Un bajo profundo y palpitante entra con un ritmo de Latin house clásico y un cencerro energético. Sí, mantén esa energía justo ahí. La cima nos espera. ¡Vamos!
Kim.
El camino fue duro, pero aquí estamos. Visión clara, lo que
So I'm waiting for that design that you're working on.
como vibra esta realidad.
It's cooking. Almost there.
Seguridad. No hace falta duda que el ritmo nos guíe, buscando la gloria que el mundo
Okay, so what standards do you follow when you're normally creating designs?
I always start with creating a compelling experience, focusing on visual hierarchy and really capturing the brand's personality.
And that is awesome.
Great to hear. It's all about creating something memorable.
Okay, let's wait for it. Let me hope you get to extract what we wanted from the reference and be able to create it to the perfection that we want it.
abajo todo es solo un punto pequeño. Dueños del triunfo.
On it. Working on it.
Se ve tan claro bajo el cielo azul. Todo es victoria, con fuerza aron atrás. Sigue subiendo, no mires jamás. Mi fe es roca, mi aliento es victoria. Dando el máximo, entrando en la historia. La historia, nuestra historia. El bajo desaparece, solo quedan la percusión, el cencerro y voces, pero potentes, más alto que el sol. Ya no me detendré. Aquí somos libres.
So what is better? Do you work favorably well when someone has given you a product raw document, or you work on the UI much more better when you have reference screens?
Both are fantastic. A solid product document gives me the big picture and the why, while reference screens light up the creative spark for visual direction. It's a perfect collaboration.
That's great. That's great.
Just got the green light. Your first account setup is transformed. Check it out. What do you think?
There is a geometry of ancient cedar, internal climate shifting like a heavy-handed leader. The rain is just a lecture for the thirsty. I manifest
So I'm not able to see it. What have you named it? The transformed version? I want to look at it.
keeping the vision focused in the path narrow.
It should be right there. But let me try showing you again. There we go. Can you see it now?
I'm trying to go through it and
Leaving every bit a winner far behind.
let
No
me-
rush.
It's the climb through the grime to the light. Keep reaching.
What are you seeing?
Every branch is a prayer for the height. Steady now. Weather in the season till the fruit is right.
Well, I'm seeing all the screens that you created earlier. I see
Calendar is just a
your first account screen that you had refined earlier, which was your first account setup premium. But the one that you've the latest version that you've refined, for which I gave you the reference image, I'm not seeing it.
calculate the patience in the rings of the wood. Doing what I should.
Go. I
Doing what I should.
see. Let me make sure it's distinctly named for you. I've renamed it to Your First Account Setup Premium, so it's easy to spot.
Ascending past the logic of the common ground. Silent as a seed making a holy sound. It's the climb through the grime to the light. Keep reaching. Every branch is a prayer for the height. Steady now. Weather in the season till the fruit is right. Manifest the essence in the middle of the fight. Just keep growing. Don't mind the storm.
So the one that you gave me earlier, you created a certain screen. It was your first account setup premium, and actually the ones that you've renamed currently, it is the one that I've clicked on. The one that I've added to the favorites, it doesn't really have any change. So that means you didn't make the change to it. So let's continue with our app. It's still making refinements. We are trying to transform how the screen looks. So we are trying out different options. One option, we are trying it out in Stitch. So that Stitch gets to maybe transform it in a much more better way, because we use Stitch to create these earlier screenshots, but we are also using Google Gemini here to try and transform it right here from our code and get the variations of the two. So we shall be looking at the two concurrently. If you've not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe, join the stream. It is editing out, it's generating the screen, so we are going to look at it based on the UI that I've given. So this is the latest version of Stitch. This is what it has given me. It's quite simple and well generic, not to the tune of what we want. So we are going to wait for anti-gravity to run our image that was created and get to look at how it's going to transform it. We shall wait out for that. So we already have an implementation plan. Let's run it.
We only look at the sky. Burn like fire, no be beans. Everything set, we dey win. Lift your hands, touch the top. Feel the heat, never stop. Chop life, giant, we don't arrive. Love drum, make we come alive. Love drum, jump, make we come alive. Alive, make we come alive. Money talk, we know they cap. Shake way for hand, we dey tap. Best say we move fast. Make this feeling always last. Always last. Always last. Burn like fire, no be beans. Everything set, we dey win. Lift your hands, touch the top. Feel the heat. Never stop. Chop life, giant, we don't arrive. Love drum, make we come alive. Love drum, jump, make we come alive. Alive, make we come alive. Don't be played, we be stoned. King of the street on the throne. We body higher we go.
Well, this was built out, but also it was not able to pick out what we wanted. It created the image good, but in terms of the layout was not executed well the way we wanted it. So we shall refine, I think, that. The layout itself was not captured very well. Let's go back. We're going to revert these changes because the current ones are not good. Maybe I think it's the reference image itself, so we're going to maybe use another reference image and try to use another reference that could work even much more better. In our reference image, we have two cards that are showing realistic faces of people. So I want you to look at these cards and try to reproduce these images of real people, mostly. But when it comes to the text that we are going to have in our screen, we should maintain them about creating the first account for our app. But for the images, all the image cards, they should really reflect images that are of realistic people, just like what you see in the screenshot. So let's rerun that. It never came out very well. For the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe and join our team. Because by subscribing, you're going to keep me accountable to continue doing this in a much more better way. So let's make this refinement and look at it. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to refine this screen. We had earlier made a change, but it wasn't really good. So we had to revert it. And now we are further trying to make another change.
Locking your eyes, getting in the groove. No need to talk, just let the bassline speak. Finding the vibe that everybody seeks. Your hands are low, I'm leaning in so close. This is the part that I love the most, the most. Yeah, I love it most. Feel the current when our bodies touch. Under the stars, it never is too much. City pulses beating.
So it's generating other images. I'm trying to change the look of this screen because the current one is not appealing. it's not appealing, so we wanted to create real images of real people, and then try to change and adopt a very different design, one that is different from me. What we already have. So for the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you. Please subscribe and join this amazing channel where we get to showcase what we do in terms of vibe coding. So you're going to be able, when you subscribe, you're going to be able to follow our journey till when we hit $500,000 from these vibe coded apps. So if you want to follow along the journey, if you want to learn, if you want to get to see how we go about this, then that is amazing. So we already have the implementation plan. The images have been generated, so let's continue and try to get a different feel of this, because the earlier version that we created, it was not good in terms of how it appeared. It wasn't actually appealing as you can look at it. Yes, the image was generated, but the colors, the match out of the colors was not quite picked up the way we want. So we are making changes to that. So let's continue and make the refinements. So if you have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to subscribe, and so that you join us. In the channel.
Dueños del triunfo, dueños del empeño, se ve tan claro bajo el cielo azul, todo es victoria con fuerza y virtud, olvida los miedos, quedaron atrás, mi fe es roca, mi aliento es victoria, dando el máximo, entrando en la historia, nuestra la historia, más alto que el sol. Ganando el lugar, no me detendré, aquí somos libres, tan libres, no me detengas, siente el impulso de llegar al final, bajo las nubes, el éxito es real, el fuego interno arde en nuestro ser, subiendo fuerte, nada que temer, siente el impulso de llegar al final, bajo las nubes, el éxito es real, el fuego interno arde en nuestro ser, subiendo fuerte, nada que temer, así mismo.
Yeah. Check the frequency. 1 2 1 2. Gray slabs trap the heat. Boots crunch on broken glass bits. Keep the mind sharp. charcoal blaze style. Scavengers hunt where the metal pipes rise. Industry vultures circling the block. Our main tree vultures circling the block. I maintain a stance, feet planted deep. Brick walls talk